Okay, I'm gonna show Jay's graphic first because it's such a well look at how nice and clean that is. So Brian Robinson, everybody knows, tore it up. 87 yards rushing, 2 TDs, 2 grabs, 42 yards. Really assisted in the Commanders' win over the Broncos, and I've been impressed. I've been, you know what, I like guys that you could easily, pick up later in your draft or in the waivers, and Brian Robinson wasn't a highly. I mean, he was drafted, obviously. He's probably a mid-round pick. Sam Howell, late round pick. If in some leagues, if just one quarterback, he wasn't drafted. I mean, he's still available in 20% of Yahoo leagues. So this whole Commanders team, I've been impressed with, and this guy's the fuel of the fire. And I mean, there's a couple other guys, could have went with a few other options. Jerome Ford from the Browns, but I'll change it up. Jerome Ford's probably going to have another monster game, and maybe in a couple weeks or something, and he'll be my gold star player of the week. But that's what I'm going to call this segment. Eli's gold star for week 2. It's like the little stars you got, from third grade that you put up on the fridge, and mom was all proud and shit. So this is what it's kind of going to look like. Love Jay's graphic, and it's kind of the one that I'm going to be putting up. And it gives a whole season. So I'll have, the stats on the left side and then the whole season. So, first week wasn't terrible. He had 59 yards rushing, so kind of a pedestrian week, but this week he really popped. And, week 1, he had a receiving touchdown. So, he's got 3 touchdowns so far in 2 games. So, been very, very impressed. And he's got a nice running mate. Antonio Gibson's a nice sidekick. And, I've been impressed with the Commanders. So, I thought I'd give him a shout out there.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. With Brian Robinson, I mean, he, with him kind of getting worked in last year a little bit, and then to this year kind of actually being their main guy, and we all kind of hoped that Gibson could have been that guy, but I mean, it kind of tides turn a little bit. I mean, even though Robinson was a rookie last year and whatnot, I mean, it was kind of kind of one of those hard things. Do I take Brian Robinson or do I take a Gibson? Because these two kind of subside each other a little bit. They're almost similar players when they went in their run game. And Brian Robinson's probably just a little bit better than Gibson. Gibson's a little bit more brute.
Yeah,
Robinson's more their speedster. In this offense, and he actually had some good runs. I mean, he actually tore up some guys, and I think he had a nice stiff arm with one of them. They were talking about it on Good Morning Football. There's a segment on there that I love. They call it angry runs, and Brian Robinson, I think, was in one of those. CMC won it. Yeah, CMC won it, but in that game. But overall, Brian Robinson was a contender in that, getting one of those little things that they always hand out to guys. But Brian Robinson looks good. He was actually out there in 52% of snaps. Right. Now Gibson was out there in about 48% of snaps, but he didn't really do anything with a lot of his carry. He didn't really have any carries. So probably going forward, Robinson will probably be the guy getting more of the bulk of the carries overall in general. So, but yeah, that's our takeaways on our highlighted players. Now we need to get into some